What's up, everybody? On Shannon Sharp's podcast, Davante Adams had some key comments regarding Tom Brady to the Las Vegas Raiders. Check it out here.
I knew it when you said Tom Brady. I knew what you said. Let me see what he gonna say. And then you got to talk about Odie is I don't care. I don't care.
You would take Tom in 47, 48?
58 right now. Hey, nah, Tom. Look, Tom know about how I feel about him, man. And the other part is, I think I'll be the first person that play with Tom and Aaron. So
Right.
that'll be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he getting older, but I mean, he got to still be able to throw it better than half these dudes in the league.
Now, I will say, Davante Adams, he's a fantastic player. He's an elite wide receiver. Even at age 32, 33, you could argue that he's on top of the receiver rankings in the NFL at this point. He's one of the two faces of our franchise, along Max Crosby. But I will say my personal opinion on him is a complex one. I'll start with his authenticity, which I really appreciate. Davante's a straight shooter, and he tells you like it is. Whether it's a question on the quarterback situation or the state of the team, he's always going to say what he feels is the truth. And I really appreciate that because, in modern day culture, whether that's business, entertainment, sports, or politics, it's rare to see that. There's a lot of inauthenticity in the world. And I think it's a positive thing when the face of your franchise is authentic. It's something the fan base and the organization can really rally behind and support is a player like that. However, when Davante is blunt like this, like these comments he made about Tom Brady, I think it can rub some people the wrong way, including his own locker room, especially Aidan O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. So when you look at Tom Brady, by no means am I saying he's going to come back. I think it's a 0% chance, 0.0% chance he comes back with his Fox contract, and his desire to become an NFL owner. He's not going to be coming back, but objectively right now, I would say if he were to come back, he'd be maybe a top 10, 11 quarterback. I think he's better than Aidan O'Connell right now as a quarterback. He can play the quarterback position more efficiently than Aidan, and I think he leads to a few more wins. If you have Tom Brady, a 47-year-old quarterback, in there rather than Aidan O'Connell or Gardner. But Davante's not stupid. He's a really smart player. He knows Tom Brady's not going to be coming out of retirement. Yet he still makes these comments. And I would say the one issue I have with that is imagine you were Aidan O'Connell or Gardner. You're paying Gardner $12 million a year to be a quarterback for us, and Aidan is supposed to take that sophomore leap in his second year. And all reports have been that Aidan's confidence has been skyrocketing. You've heard Antonio Pierce talk about it. Aidan himself talked about it along with Max Crosby on his podcast. His confidence has only been growing. But when you see these comments from Davante, your superstar receiver who you're trying to appease and really, gain the support from, you don't want to hear that because basically these comments mean that, oh yeah, I wish we had another quarterback coming in who gives us a better chance to win. I think as a young player, as a young quarterback, his confidence is going to be shot down from that meteoric rise that's been reported. I think these comments only hurt that. And when you look at the Raiders Twitter and the beat reporters and the media, the modern day media, they misconstrue everything. And they blow everything out of proportion, especially from the Raiders, because the Raider fans, they click and click and click. And they give these media guys a lot of attention. We're one of the most active fan bases on Twitter, I would say. So when someone makes a comment like this, it's blown out of proportion. And I guarantee you, Aidan has seen this, and I'm sure he didn't react well to it. And so I don't think it's the best thing for the locker room for Davante to make these comments. I think he's a really good football player. He's a smart player. And we saw on that receiver show on Netflix, he really holds guys accountable in the locker room. We saw he was a locker room leader. He was really vocal on those sidelines during those losses against Detroit. We saw him chewing guys out, which I think is a positive thing. But when you have a young quarterback whose confidence is fragile, that's every young quarterback in the NFL. You have to do everything you can to support him and really bring him along. And so Davante, I think in hindsight with everything, he's made comments before that's gone misconstrued and blown out of proportion. I think in hindsight, he would regret these comments about Tom because, like I said, Tom's not coming out of retirement. It's going to be Gardner or Aidan this season. Everyone knows that, including Davante. So I think in the future, I hope he's a little bit more smart with his words on podcasts or whatever it may be. But it's going to be interesting, Raider Nation. training camp starting in 2 days now. And the quarterback battle is going to commence between Gardner and Aidan. Personally, I hope it's going to be Aidan O'Connell. I root for the guy, but like we said in our last video, money talks, and the money right now is showing that it's going to be Gardner Minshew. So it's going to be an interesting dynamic to see how those guys mesh with Davante and Jacoby and Brock and the rest of our receiving talent, and the coaching staff. So going to be interesting to see what happens, Raider Nation. But yeah, and one other thing I wanted to address too. I know it's been a little bit since we've made a video on this channel. I think for the last month, personally, I was pretty busy as a full-time college student with my education and studies. So I needed to take that month off to focus on that. But and there wasn't a lot of news going on, let's face it. But with training camp on the horizon, I've decided to come out and start making videos more consistently. So hopefully we keep shooting out this content to y'all. Appreciate the support in our last video. Keep it coming. We appreciate the likes, subscribes, comments, and keep sharing with your friends. So all those 4 things help us tremendously on this channel. And yeah, thank you guys, Raider Nation, and we'll catch you in the next one. Jahan signing off.